Welcome back to my channel. So last time we learned how to set up dimension styles. And today we are going to take a look at how to dimension multiple features and also how to set up leader styles. So let's get started. So first of all, you can draw some shapes like this, and the dimension of this rectangle is 6 by 4. And the diameter of the circle is 2, and a similar thing for this rectangle. And just draw some random circles. Then we are going to dimension them. So before we start dimensioning, we are going to create a layer and call it as dimensions. So let's create a new layer here and call it as dimensions. And I'm going to make the color to be yellow. Then make the layer to be current. All right, so let's set up the dimension styles first. So let's go to the annotation, then click on dimension. Then let's create a new one based on the standard one. Let's just call it as mechanical. Then continue. So let's look at the parameters setting for this drawing. So for length, I think these settings will work. And the next one for symbols and arrows. For the arrow size, let's make it to be 0.4. Then enter. The next one is the text font. So for the text height, let's make it to be 0.3. Then enter. So for offset from dimension line, let's make it to be 0.2, then enter. The next one is the primary units. Let's make the precision to be 2 decimal places. Then we are done of the setting, then say OK. And close it. All right, so let's dimension this circle here. Then we could go to diameter, then give a diameter of the circle. Or if you need a radius, you could give a radius. But technically, this is a full circle. So we are supposed to give diameter instead of a radius. And let's look at this part here. So whenever we have circles, so we probably need to add center marks. So let's go to the center line layer and go to annotate and add a center marks. So click on center mark and give a center marks. So when we dimension circles, we always have 3 dimensions. The first one is the X length. The second one is the Y length. And the third one is the diameter. So let's go back to the Home tab and dimension those. So when we dimension circles like this, we could either dimension from the edge to the edge of the center mark, or we could dimension from the edge to the center of the circle. So let's think about which one is correct. So first of all, I'm going to switch back to the dimension layer, then give a linear dimension. So one is from a top left to the edge of the center mark, then give a dimension. Then the other one still is a linear dimension that I'm going to do from the corner. Instead of from the edge of the center mark, I'm going to do from the center of the circle. This is another dimension. So on technical drawing, we're not supposed to have dimensions overlapped. So let's grab this dimension and put it in the middle. And a similar thing for the other one, move it in the middle. Okay, now let's think about it. Which way is correct? So actually, when we dimension the part, we would dimension it on the left side way, which we snap to the edge of the center mark, because in this way, we won't be able to tell the object and the dimension and the extension line. So instead of snapping to the center of the object, we snap from the edge of the center mark. And now let's try dimensioning the diameter of the circle. So let's go to diameter, click on the circle, give a diameter. So let's see if you want to put additional notes underneath. So you could double click on the dimension and use the right arrow on your keyboard, move it to the very right, then hit enter. So let's see additional text. So on technical drawing, all letters are supposed to be capital letters. So you could turn on the capital locks on your keyboard and type in additional text. Then click on somewhere after you're done. So this is how to add additional text under a dimension. And also for holes, if the holes, they're not go all the way through, then we need to specify the depth of the hole. So the way we do that is we are going to give a diameter first, then add the depth. So let's click on diameter, then give a diameter of this hole. Then let's double click on the dimension and use the right arrow on your keyboard, move it to the very right, then hit enter. Then we are going to add the depth symbol. So which is under symbol, then other, then find the GD and T, and the depth symbol is right here. Then click on select, then copy, then close the window, then press Ctrl V on your keyboard, paste it here. Then looks like we have additional line here. So let's press backspace on your keyboard. Then let's assume the depth of the hole is 0.50. And let's enter that. And since we set up the units, the precision is 2 decimal places. So we are going to match it here as well. And it looks like the top text, the size is 0.3. So let's make the bottom one to be 0.3 as well. Enter. And the font of the top one is Arial. So let's make the bottom one to be Arial as well. But do not change the depth symbol to Arial because the font has to stay with GD and T. Otherwise, the symbol itself will change. So let's just change the numbers and change it to Arial. Then click on somewhere. So this is how to add the depth of the hole. And also, if you have a circle or an arc, which is huge, then if you dimension the diameter in the regular way, so click on diameter, then diameter here. So if you zoom out, they automatically created a cross sign here. So it's going to be far away the main part. So instead of dimensioning in a regular way, we are going to use jog the dimension. So this function here. So let's click on it. And the first question says select the arc. So let's select this arc here. The second question says specify the center location to override. So we basically are going to create a fake center instead of the real center over here. So let's see if we want to have the fake center somewhere around here, then let's click on here. And the third question says specify the dimension line location, which means where do you want the number to be? So let's see if you want R31 to be here, then you can click on here. Then the last question says specify jog location. Then let's see if you want the jog to be here, then click on here. Then this is the jog dimension. Then sometimes you want to create text only with a leader. So the way you can do it is you could take advantage of the diameter, which you make a diameter here, then click on the numbers and delete that. Then you could type the text that you want, such as additional comments, something like this. However, the more professional way is we set up leader styles. So let's go to the annotation tab here. Then we are going to take a look at multi-leader style here. So let's click on the multi-leader style, then create a new one, and let's call it as mechanical as well. Then continue. So we have three tabs here: the leader format, the leader structure, and the content. So first is the leader format. The type of the leader, you could have a straight one, or sometimes you want a spline ones if they are schematic illustrations, or it could be none. But here, let's stay with straight ones. And the arrow size, let's make it to be 0.3, then enter, then go to the next tab, leader structure. And on mechanical drawing, we usually have a landing here. So if you have automatically include the landing checked, then the landing is here. Otherwise, it's gone. So let's have the landing thing checked. The next tab is content. So for the multi-leader tab, we could have a multi-line text, or we could have a block. Then we could specify the block options. So it could be slab, could be circle, could be box. So let's stay with just a multi-line text. Then you could set up the text style. And for the text height, let's make it to be 0.3, then enter. The next one is justify. So sometimes the drawing requires you to have everything to be left justified. Then you could check this option here. So let's make it to be unchecked. So if you don't check this box, so anything on the left side of the component, it's going to be automatically right justified. And any dimensions on the right side of the drawing, it's going to be automatically left justified. And also you have a frame text option. If you have it checked, then all the text will have a box around it. When we do GD and T in the future, you could take advantage of this option. So let's have it unchecked. Then after you're done, let's say OK. And close the window. OK, let's give a leader here. So click on leader. And we really want to snap the circle. So the way you can snap on the circle is you have the nearest snap on. So you can click on the drop-down button of the snap, then check nearest. Then let's do the leader one more time. So now you can snap on the circle. Then make a leader like this and call it as comments. Then click on somewhere, things like this. All right. So let's try dimensioning filets object. So first of all, let's draw that object. Let's switch to the solid line white layer and click on the line command. Then draw a component like this. So the length, let's make it to be 6. Enter. Then the height won't matter. So just draw something like this. Then hit ESC. And let's make some fillets. So click on fillet. So let's see, let's make the radius to be 0.5. Then we need to specify the radius first. So click on radius, that's 0.5, then enter. Then click on here, and a similar thing here, and here, and here, and here. And the last one, here, and here. So we have 4 fillets. The radius are all 0.5. So on technical drawing, we only dimension them once. So since it's not a whole circle, so we are going to give a radius. So click on radius, then grab the fillet and have it here. So I'm on the wrong layer. Let's move it to the dimension layer. Then let's make the dimension to be the current layer. Since we only dimension the fillets once, so we are going to type in 4 times. So double click on the dimension and use your left arrow on the keyboard, move it to the very left, then type in 4 space capital X, which means times, then space, then click on somewhere. So we have 4 fillets. The radius of each is 0.5. So this is how to dimension fillet. And the next one, we are going to draw a fastener. So we are going to draw the right side view first, then do the projection to get the front view. So let's make a circle first with the radius 1.5. Let's switch back to the solid line white layer. Then make a circle, center radius. Then click on somewhere around here. Then the radius is 1.5. Enter. Then let's make a polygon with 6 edges, which is going to be a hexagon. So the number of sides is 6. Enter. The center is going to be the center of the circle, and we are going to be circumscribed about the circle. Then the distance, let's type it in as 2.5, then hit enter. Then since it's a circle, so we are going to have a center mark. So switch to the center line layer and the annotate tab and make a center mark. Hit ESC and extend it. Then go back to the Home tab. Then you can save your work. Then we are going to work on the front view. So we will need to make some construction lines. So let's do offsite. Then do through. Grab this horizontal construction line. Make it here, here, and also this corner here, and also the quadrant point. Then we are going to make the front view. So let's go to the solid line layer and make a rectangle. So let's start somewhere around here. Then make the rectangle to be about this size. And for the screw part, it's still a rectangle. Make it to be somewhere here. Then since it's a hexagon head, so we should be able to see a line here. So let's make a line here to here. Okay, so now we are going to put some leaders. So before we do that, let's switch back to the dimension layer. And the leader, let's make it to be somewhere around here. And let's type in standard style, leader at the top left. Comma, enter, leader is at top left. Then we are going to copy this text here. And we are going to use it later as well. The next one, let's create a leader somewhere around here. Then do Control V to paste the text. So this time the leader is at the bottom left. The similar thing, let's create a leader somewhere around here. And do Control V and paste the text. So right now it's top right. Then click on somewhere. Okay, so as you can see, as the default setting, if the comments are on the left side of the component, it's automatically right justified. However, if the text is on the right side of the component, it's going to be automatically left justified. So if you want everything to be left justified, then you could go back to the annotation and modify the leader style here. So modify and check always left justified. Then say OK. Then close. Then let's create another leader here. Then do Control V and paste the text, and it's bottom left. And click on somewhere. So as you can see, the text is automatically left justified instead of right justified. And also sometimes you need to have multi-leaders to a single text. So first of all, let's create a leader first. It's somewhere around here, and call it as multi-leader. And click on somewhere. Then we could create more leaders based on this single text. So click on Add Leader here. Then first question, select a multi-leader. So let's select this leader. Then specify the leader arrowhead. So we could click on here, also on the circle, maybe towards downward, and move to the other side. Then after you're done, you can hit ESC and save your work. All right, this is all we have for today's video of how to dimension multi-features and how to set up leader styles. And thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.